Okay, bye.
Welcome back to work. Bye, Luke.
See ya.
Have a good day at school.
Yeah.
Everyone's gone to work. You know why? Because vacation is over. I have a bunch of footage from our trip to Cabo, but I haven't put it together yet, and I don't know exactly how I will. It was a really nice trip and very relaxing, but back to normal life now. And speaking of which, I was thinking today, obviously I've hit record again, so I'm doing more of these videos, but what am I trying to share with you exactly? I had said in a previous video that the idea behind doing this is that it's a bit of a creative outlet for myself. It's a hobby. It's treating video creation again as something that isn't just work, but something that's kind of a creative expression. Okay, this is for later. Anyway, the point of what I was trying to say was that while I want these to be kind of fun, interesting, creative little outlets, I don't want them to be fabricated either. In other words, if I'm not having an interesting or exciting day, then I don't want to just make something up for the sake of the video. So I guess you'll get what you get. Hopefully it'll be interesting and good enough. And again, at the end of the day, hopefully something that helps me become a better storyteller and video creator. I'll tell you something, one of the things that really appeals to me about doing videos like this is being away from scripted content. Because everything I do for Watch It Played, at least when it comes to the tutorial videos, is entirely scripted. And that's very much a necessity of that kind of video creation. You know, I think one of the most valuable pieces of feedback I got about my tutorial videos was when I first started. Within the first year, someone wrote me and said, "Rodney, shut the f*** up and just teach the game." I deleted that comment because I don't tend to keep the more colorful comments on the channel, and I can talk about that in a later video. But either way, I think the important thing always when you get negative criticism of any kind is to very quickly extract from it what's valuable. Sometimes there isn't anything valuable and you just delete. But you have to be careful not to ignore criticism just because it's mean or because it doesn't sound very nice. Because sometimes, there's a valuable little nugget of knowledge in there that you shouldn't miss. And for me, it was recognizing that I was spending way too much time at the beginning of my tutorial videos rambling on. I would wax philosophical about game theory or game design or my experience with the game or just some little news related item at the beginning of a tutorial video, maybe for 5 to 7 minutes, which when you're showing up to a video to see how it's played, it shouldn't be about me at that point. It should be about you and teaching you how to play that game as quickly as possible so you can get on and go have fun with it. And so I needed to shift some of that rambling, chatty, talky stuff out of my tutorial videos, make sure they're very scripted, very compact and efficient for the sake of the viewer. These videos, I don't have to worry so much about that. And so you get a little bit more of the rambling Rodney. But my hope is that that's also good practice for me, learning how to tell and communicate different types of stories in a different way that hopefully is interesting. But again, I don't really want to be fabricating interesting adventures all the time just for the sake of it. That said, what is that over there in the river? There is an orange floaty thing, and it's stranded out there. Although when the tide goes up, it's probably going to just drift away. I think I need to go retrieve it. The only downside to this whole idea is that I've got to traipse across the river bed here to get to whatever that is. And the problem is this never goes dry. It's always got water on it. It's been like that for decades, centuries, I'm sure, millenniums, or however long rivers last. Anyway, it means it's always wet and soggy. And I'm going to sink a certain distance into whatever this muck is. Probably not up to my knees or anything like that, but close to it, perhaps. Guess we'll find out. Okay, shoes off. Let's go. Oh, you know what? This is probably also going to be quite chilly. Okay, not so bad. Just in a little bit. Oh, Okay, a little bit more. And we're off. At this point, I think it's just, you just have to commit. You just have to go. You can't overthink it. You can't think about what you're feeling squishing between your toes or the chill of the water. I don't know if you noticed, but like a little frost coming off my breath here because things have gotten particularly colder since I left for Cabo and then returned. Ooh, I'm on solid ground again, pretty much. Yeah, that's gonna have to get cleaned off later. And we're getting a little closer. Oh, you know what? I think I'm realizing what this is now that I'm closer. I can see some spikes sticking out of the ground. If you watch some of the earlier videos that I did, in one of them when I was kayaking, I saw that there was crabs being trapped between a couple of stakes that had been sort of dug into the river. And I think that might be what we have here. Let's get closer and we'll take a look. Yeah, I would say that's clearly what this is. Those are trap lines running there. See the two stakes in the water? And we have one here as well. And so I believe as like crabs and other things might go across the river, they'll get trapped in a trap that's over here. Let's get even closer and see if we can see if the trappers have been successful or not. Whew, it's getting a little deeper than what I dressed for. Okay, time for the hiking of the shorts. The shorts are getting hiked. Oh boy. Let's see what's in here. Oh yeah, look, I can see there's a fish in the trap here. In fact, I think that one right there is alive still. Now, I don't know a lot about fishing or trapping or any of that outdoorsy stuff. My father did, my grandfather did. My grandfather owned a fishery, actually, in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia, Joel Fisheries. Maybe that's something we can talk about at some point in the future. Maybe my dad could talk about it on here a little bit. But I am particularly not knowledgeable about this sort of thing. But from what I can see, it looks like there's netting that runs along here and that opens up along there as well, so that when the water flows through and the fish come in, they get sort of drawn into this net and this column area where they'll get stuck and then caught for eating later. Looks like I didn't hike my shorts up quite enough. You know, it always makes me feel a little sad when I see trapped animals, even fish. But I know in my head that, you know, that's how we get a lot of our food. It's from trapping and killing other animals. And like Elvis, our cat, if it saw that fish, it would kill it and eat it. So I know we're not doing something that is outside of the ecosystem of survival or anything like that, but it's still, I don't know, makes me sad a little bit. That's probably silly. You know, I'll just mention quickly, these traps that we see here, not anyone can set them. If I understand correctly, these are set by First Nations people who have an agreement with the government that although someone like myself, for example, couldn't come out here and set traps like this, they're able to do so as a part of the treaty agreements with the First Nations people and the government. So I believe that's what this is here. And you can see it's very shallow, but when the river comes up, they'll come along here in a boat and then they'll collect from the traps. So that's my understanding of it anyway. So, okay, we didn't get to retrieve something cool floating in the water. It turns out it's just a marker for the traps. But I also got to see that they actually set traps this far down the river. I didn't realize they did that. In fact, I can see, I think down there, I don't think you can see, there's another one of those orange neon markers or whatever, and I think they must have traps all the way along. But now time for us to get back. Also, I'm glad to say I didn't get up to my knees, but oh boy, are my legs freezing. It's quite cold out today. Look at these little birds, by the way. Look at these cute little tiny birds. I need to find out what kind of birds these are. Let's go see if we can get a little closer before they scoot off on us. I don't know what they're eating, but they're picking something out of the water. Little grubs or nubs or... Honestly, I'm just making words up. I don't know what it is that these animals eat. Ooh, that was zoomed in very close. I'm not sure what kind of birds those are. I'd love to find out. If you're watching and you know, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, time to head back. Nothing particularly graceful about this. Yeah, that's gonna have to come off. So yeah, that, or this here, this is what you can expect in the videos. About that much adventure or less. And I don't know if that's good or not. If you decide, well, that's not really what I want to stick around for, I would totally understand if you wanted to unsubscribe. But this is me. This is the world I live in, and so that's what I'm able to talk about and what I want to share. And from time to time, I will wax philosophical and ramble for a bit about different thoughts or ideas in my head, or go out and chase fish traps. For now, though, we need to wash off. Okay, that feels better. Sorry, Elvis, I didn't bring you home any breakfast. I was out there in a trap. You'd have to go get it yourself.